I'm Dave Packer. With the G20 in the rearview mirror, President Biden has arrived in Scotland. He's headed to Glasgow at the UN Climate Conference. The president expected to announce the goal of the U.S. with net zero greenhouse emissions by 2050. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Glasgow ahead of the president.
The pressure here has never been higher. Nearly every country is represented. Hundreds of heads of state, well-known activists like Greta Thunberg, other industry leaders, they're all saying that this is one of the most significant moments in the climate crisis. Now, the goal of this conference is to follow up on promises made in the Paris Climate Accord, something President Biden reinstated the U.S. into earlier this year.
It was a rough weekend for American Airlines passengers. Many left stranded. Over 1,800 cancellations since Friday. American blaming staffing and weather issues at its busiest hub. ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi has more.
American Airlines says it is looking forward to the holiday travel season by hiring at least 600 new flight attendants by the end of the year. The company is also hiring more pilots and reservation agents in time for the holidays.
Today, 2 months after Texas enacted a law that bans nearly all abortions in the state, the Supreme Court will take up the case.
The law outlaws abortions after just 6 weeks of pregnancy, and it deputizes private citizens to sue anyone who aids and abets an unlawful abortion. Steve Vladeck is with the University of Texas Law School.
The Texas case is the direct assault. There's no universe in which Texas's 6-week ban and Roe and Casey can coexist.
The High Court's ruling will likely determine the future of abortions in Texas and the legal battles to come. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
In New York City, thousands of city workers refusing to comply with vaccine mandates.
The FDNY tells us that 75% of its firefighters are vaccinated. The FDNY commissioner said that those closures this weekend didn't hamper response times at all, but he did go on to say that calling in sick to protest a mandate could actually cost lives.
That's ABC's Phil Lipoff. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Jury selection starting today in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. He's accused of killing 2 people during a protest in the summer of 2020 over the shooting of a black man by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Rittenhouse was 17 at the time. Philadelphia is on the verge of becoming the first major American city to get rid of traffic stops for minor violations. The mayor is expected to sign a measure as soon as this week that would ban police from making stops for things like broken taillights. Critics of those kinds of stops say they disproportionately target people of color. Sudden lockdown at Disneyland in Shanghai after word that just one recent visitor to the theme park had tested positive for the coronavirus. China's zero-tolerance policy means the park is being shut down for several days, and tens of thousands of COVID tests are being administered. And the biggest Day of the Dead celebration in California starting today.
The Dia de los Muertos Festival returned to the famous Hollywood Forever Cemetery in Los Angeles for its 22nd year. On the holiday, families remember their loved ones with music, dance, and special altars.
It's to celebrate that we are alive, that we are humans, that at the end, everybody, we're gonna die.
Celebrating death and life.
It's not about being sad about the people who have passed. It's about celebrating their life and everything that they love.
The Day of the Dead is celebrated today and Tuesday. Todd Ent, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
We do have high pressure settling into our area for today. That's going to allow a lot of us to see a lot of sunshine heading into the afternoon. Chilly temperatures will warm into the upper 60s and lower 70s. We are going to see those temperatures cool off into the mid 40s as we head into tonight. Look for highs in the 60s and mid 70s for tomorrow as we transition into Wednesday. We're going to see temperatures in the 50s. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Looks like our next rainfall may be coming here Wednesday night and Thursday. And then by the weekend, it's clearing out of here again. Beautiful weekend with mostly sunny skies with highs around 55. Now, our lowest temperature looks like it's going to be Saturday evening at 34 degrees for a low temperature overnight. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock, now have these death announcements. Steve Pinson, Sr., age 75, of Forest City, passed away Wednesday, October the 27th at his residence. A graveside service will be conducted at 12:30 today at the First Baptist Church of Bostic Cemetery. Family will receive friends from 11 until 12 today at Harrelson Funeral Home prior to the service at the graveside. Harrelson Funeral Home, serving the family of Steve Pinson, Sr. Margaret Tony Andrews, age 87, of Forest City, died October 29th while being cared for at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. Graveside services will be held 1 o'clock today at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Margaret Tony Andrews. Marcella Page Green of Shelby, formerly of Forest City, died Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be held 2 o'clock today in the Pageant at King Chapel. Burial will take place at Green River Baptist Church Cemetery in Polk County. Family will receive friends from 12:30 until 1:45 today at Pageant and King. Pageant and King in charge of the arrangements. For Marcella Page Green. Harry Stanton Hamrick, 87, of Forest City, died Thursday, October 28th. The funeral service will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Salem United Methodist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Visitation will be from 12:45 until 1:45 in the church sanctuary prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for Harry Hamrick. Bob Green, age 76, of Ellenboro, passed away Wednesday, October 27th at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at Big Springs Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with the arrangements for Bob Green of Ellenboro. Brian W. Ruff, age 44, of Forest City, passed away Wednesday, October 27th at Adrium Health, Cleveland and Shelby. A gathering of family and friends will be conducted from 6 until 8 o'clock this evening at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service entrusted with those arrangements for Brian W. Ruff. Dorothy Lee Moore Murray, 92, of Bostic, died Thursday, October the 29th. A graveside service will be conducted at 1 o'clock Tuesday, November 2nd, at Mount Lebanon Baptist Church Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Dorothy Lee Moore Murray. Charles Allen Toms, age 57, of Forest City, passed away Thursday, October 28th at Adrium Mercy in Charlotte. A gathering of family and friends will be conducted from 6 until 8 o'clock Tuesday, November 2nd at Harrelson Funeral Home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for Charles Allen Toms. Janet Calder, age 72, of the Wills Creek community, passed away Friday, October 29th. Graveside services will be held 1 p.m. Tuesday, November 2nd at Wills Creek Baptist Church in Lake Lure. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Janet Calder. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:35, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report, the complete obituaries of these and others as we get them here at WCAB. It's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. The call-around report coming up here in just a few moments, right after the Bill O'Reilly Morning Update coming up next.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
On this Monday, the first day of November, I have a theory. If Republicans win the House of Representatives next November, President Biden could be quickly impeached, and it would not be difficult. Mr. Biden is clearly not enforcing U.S. immigration law at any level. That is a direct violation of his inaugural oath. In the fiscal year ending September 30th, about 70,000 foreign nationals were arrested by federal authorities, the lowest number on record. In 2011, President Obama presided over a federal government that arrested about 350,000 undocumented people, most of whom were deported. That was a record high number. So Obama-Biden record high to Biden record low. Now, impeaching Joe Biden would, of course, be karma for the Democratic Party. But it would create even more hatred and division in the USA, so I am not supporting that. But I am telling you that President Biden is not upholding his oath, and that is grounds for impeachment, and it could happen if the House goes to Republicans next November. Now this. If you are stuck in a timeshare, please call my friends at Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee to get you out with a specified time frame given to you in writing. They have helped thousands of unhappy timeshare owners over the past decade. Family-owned, their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. So please call for a no-obligation consultation. 855-551-7066 or visit LoneStarTransfer.com. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Thank you for making WCAB your radio station of choice in the foothills. Now get the best of both worlds. 100.9 FM and 590 AM Rutherfordton.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, this is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. Gilbert Talks Taxes because, as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. So put on a pot of coffee because I'll be talking about tax law, tax rules and changes, regulations, retirement, financial strategies, and of course, I'll be telling you how to handle the IRS. This is Gilbert. Listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 right here, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
Andrew Mcconnell was a farmer with a small spread just outside of Abilene, Kansas. In October of 1870, McConnell returned home to find his neighbor John Shea driving some cattle across his land. In later testimony confirmed by friend Moses Miles, McConnell and Shea had an argument about the cattle and Shea pulled his pistol. Twice Shea cocked the hammer and pulled the trigger. Twice nothing happened. Then McConnell grabbed his rifle and shot Shea. Because McConnell testified that it was self-defense confirmed by Moses Miles, McConnell never went to trial. During this time, the town marshal of Abilene was Tom Smith. For a lawman, Marshal Smith was unique. He had come from New York, where he had been a professional boxer. Tom Smith had gotten the job simply because no one else wanted it. Although Smith wore 2 pistols, he never used them. He tamed Abilene with his fists. Stories started surfacing that raised doubt about Andrew McConnell's actually shooting his neighbor in self-defense. So a warrant was issued for McConnell, and on November 2, 1870, Marshall Smith went to serve it. When Smith arrived at McConnell's, Moses Miles was also there. As Marshall Smith was reading the warrant, without warning, McConnell shot him in the chest. In a struggle between Smith, an axe was grabbed, and in the end, Marshal Tom Smith was dead with his head chopped off. It's interesting that although Tom Smith had survived confrontations with drunks, gunmen, and lawmen, he was overcome by two sober farmers. The lesson to be learned is that a person is usually prepared for the obvious. It's the unexpected that gets you. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu. Along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order, now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
16 minutes after 7 o'clock on this brand new month of November the 1st, 2021. Well, the Braves were not able to close the deal last night, so it goes into Game 6 at Houston on tomorrow night. They are off tonight, traveling, and they'll be in Houston tomorrow night for game number 6. And hopefully the Braves can close the deal. 17 now past the hour. Let's head to the phones and find out what's been happening over Halloween weekend. And on the phone with me right now is Deputy Greenway with the Sheriff's Department to tell us all the news. Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, sir. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. So tell us what's been going on over the weekend.
Over the weekend, we ran 318 calls. There were 11 arrests made, and the jail currently has 184 inmates. I'm going to read off a couple of our incident reports. Charles Miller reported an incident of assault and battery. Linda McCord reported an incident of fraud. And then Pat Chamberlain reported an incident of larceny from motor vehicle. Reading off our arrest reports, James Edgerton was arrested for communicating threats. Christopher South was arrested for assault and battery. Robert Lee Queen was arrested for possession of methamphetamine. Latoya Archer was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Christopher Mitchell was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Justin Lovelace arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brandon King arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Keenan Ramsey was arrested for failure to pay a fine. Destiny Dezo was arrested for injury to personal property. And Howard Guy was arrested for failure to appear on 2 misdemeanors and a felony. And that completes what we have for you this morning.
Deputy Greenway, thank you very much for that report. I hope you're safe out there today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye. And 911 communication will be our next stop. Could you use an extra $8,000, maybe $1,500 or $500? Your opportunity to brighten things up this year is here. The 2021 Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce reverse raffle tickets are now available. Only 500 tickets will be sold, and you could win $8,000, $1,500, or $500. 3 winners and tickets are available now at the Chamber office, Main Street, Rutherford, and here at WCAB. Our Chamber board members have them. The drawing this year will be held December 17th, live on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM at 8:10, and it will be live streamed. Be a part of supporting the Chamber with your purchase of a reverse raffle ticket. Tickets are $50, and the chances of winning $8,000, $1,500, or $500 are phenomenal. Have some fun. Buy a ticket and listen for the winning number. December 17th at 8:10. You know what? It could be you. And I have your ticket right here. If you'd like to stop by here, I've got some for you. It could be the winning ticket. Who knows? Now let's head toward the 911 Communication Center and get our next report. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. Tell us what's been happening with your phone calls.
Well, in the past 48 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communication Center has processed 670 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 105 for the emergency medical services, 318 for the Sheriff's Office, 119 for Forest City, 17 for Lake Lure, 96 for Rutherford, and 80 for Spindale. Chimney Rock Fire Department had a residential fire alarm. Ellenboro had a vehicle fire. Green Hill had a motor vehicle crash. Sandy Mush had a structure fire assisted by Cliffside, Ellenboro, and SDO. And SDO had also had a motor vehicle crash, and that is all.
Thank you so very much for that report, and you have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Cakes and cookies, toys and gifts, Christmas at your fingertips.
It's the shopping event of the season, the Southern Christmas Show, November 14th through 24th at the Park Expo and Conference Center. Explore a woodland Christmas with forest-inspired decorations for the merriest time of year, and shop hundreds of booths to find one-of-a-kind gifts for everyone on your list. Buy tickets online and save at southernChristmasShow.com.
Let's go to the Southern Christmas Show.
Now we're heading over toward the SDO Fire District and talk with Ruby Taylor this morning, find out what kind of calls they've had over the weekend. And Ruby's on the phone with you right now. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department assisted Sandy Mush on a structure fire, and they had a vehicle accident. And on my birthday calendar, well, Sue Price, she's got a birthday, and Elizabeth Tatum and Hunter Haynes having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. Signs are in the rains today and tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. You have a great day now.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherford.
Two of our local high school football teams will be participating in the postseason playoffs beginning Friday night. In the 2A playoffs, the Chase Trojans, with a record of 9-1, are seeded number 13 in the West. They will be hosting the number 20 Mooresville Pine Lake Prep Pride at Allen Stadium. Pine Lake Prep is 6-3. This will be the Pride's first season competing in the 2A playoffs after many years in the smaller 1A division. It'll be the first ever football game between Chase and Pine Lake Prep. In the 1A West playoffs, the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy Griffins have earned the number 5 seed with an overall record of 6-3. TJ will be hosting the number 28 seeded Avery Vikings. 1-9 overall at Harmon Field at Griffon Stadium in Avondale. It has been 7 years since the Griffons and Vikings have met on the football field. In other 2A playoff games involving area teams, Shelby is seeded number 1 and will host number 32 Swannanoa Owen. Burns is number 12 and will play host to number 21 McMichael. Seeded number 17, Polk County will travel to number 16 Southwest Randolph. And so the games continue. And our game of the week is going to be Pine Lake Prep at Chase High School on Friday night. Now let's check in with Gary Wilson up at Fairfield Mountains Fire District. Gary, good morning.
How you doing this morning, Jim?
Doing great. Hope you had a good weekend.
We did. We had a pretty weekend. We had no bad weather, no fire calls. It was nice and quiet. A lot of people out enjoying the leaves are changing now, and things are looking nice out there. A little chilly weather coming in maybe toward the end of the week, but it is November, so you got to be ready for it.
That's right.
And Bill's Creek's having their annual raffle the 20th of November this year. And there'll be any of the farmers selling tickets for it, so you can buy 5 and get the 6th one free. And I think first prize is like $500 in cash, and several other prizes besides that. So, see one of those firemen took your $5 bill out and buy some tickets from them. They'll appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
And I guess that's about it up here, Jim. Everything going on pretty good.
Well, I'm glad it's quiet over the Halloween weekend. Sound like everybody was pretty behaved themselves.
Sound like it did. Yeah, they had a trunk or treat over at the chapel early Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and that was pretty well attended, I think. So that was good. And everybody seemed to have a safe time this weekend. That's the main thing.
Thank you very much, Gary, and we'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
Bye. Well, holiday season's coming on. And you want to do something different for the holidays this time, why not check in with Washburn General Store? If you're thinking about a different gift, they can do a gift basket for you that's going to be very impressive for you as well as the recipient. When I go by and just talk with them and find out what's available, and you'll be surprised at the many different ideas that will come your way when you walk up and down the aisles of Washburn General Store. They do a great job of getting Christmas candy in already, and you should go by and load up before it's all gone. It is always fresh, and they'll be glad to help your holidays become a little bit brighter if you'll stop by Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, right in the heart of Washburn community. Here's DeVern now, reporting out of Bostic, North Carolina. DeVern, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
I'm doing great. You have a good weekend?
Had a wonderful weekend. Did you?
I did. I didn't get any candy, though, but I had a pretty good weekend.
I didn't get any candy either. So I guess we done okay.
Hey, I guess we probably don't need any.
Right. It's a nice, cool morning over here in Bostic this morning. Our temperature is 44 degrees. Today's November the 1st. And the fire department had no calls. Tonight is town council meeting at 6 p.m. Come out and meet with the mayor, Mitch Harrell. Town council is Keith Dobbins, Shane Upton, Wesley Flynn, Mike Hollifield, and Billy Lattimore. If you want to put any input into what's going on in your town or have any suggestions, come out and join them. And tomorrow's election day. And hope everybody enjoys the beautiful leaves.
Well, thank you for that. It is Election Day tomorrow, and I know the municipalities are all gearing up for that. Some towns have opposition, some towns don't have any opposition, but
right.
It is our duty and responsibility to go out and vote tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Listen, you have a great day. Thanks for the report, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, DeVern. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Mount Vernon Fire District. Mount Vernon Fire District is our next stop, and we're always welcomed by Mr. Bob Hodge. Good morning, sir.
Well, good Monday morning.
It's a brand new month. Happy November the 1st.
That's right. First day of November. Gonna be Christmas time here before we know it, ain't it?
It is indeed. We gotta have that turkey leg first, though. We got to get that turkey in there about 20 kills.
Yeah, we got to get that turkey out of the way first there. Oh, well, we're doing just fine up here on this Monday morning, and look like it's going to be a pretty nice day today. About the warmest day it's going to be this week, according to the weather there. It's going downhill there, so
that's right.
Get prepared for some colder weather here coming up and everything. And Jim, with the fire department, hadn't had anything bad over the weekend. We've answered a couple of medical calls, and that's about it. I want to say happy birthday to Sue Price over there this morning. And that's about it up here in their territory this morning. And You take care and have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. I'm glad things are quiet over there, and we'll check in with you tomorrow morning.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:30.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
All right, it's 7:31, and our temperature reading right now here outside, according to Peter the meter reader, looks like it's about 45 degrees, warming up nicely, though. It'll be a beautiful day in the neighborhood, about 69 for a daytime high. We're going over now and talk with the birthday girl, Sue Price at Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue, good morning and happy birthday.
Good morning, Jim. Thank you.
Good to have another one, isn't it?
It is. They come around pretty fast now, don't they?
They do, yes.
Well, let's see. I'm the only one on our church calendar and the only one on Fairview's calendar. First Broad has a birthday for Beth Brackett Tuttle, so I hope Beth's going to have a good day today. I hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And in my announcements, I remind everybody that the Golden Valley Community Club is selling Boston butts with all the fixings. You can call 828-447-2969 to order. And the pickup on this is on November the 20th. And they need you to order before November the 6th. As far as I know, that's the only announcement I have, Jim. It's just quiet and calm over this way. Looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
All right, thank you very much, Sue. On this day, you do exactly what you want to do today. It's your birthday.
I will do that.
I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. And we'll check with our next reporter right after we do this.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
All right, now we're continuing to move around the county this morning, and it's best I can see, we're up to Shingle Hollow. Is that correct?
Shingle Hollow is a place to be.
It's a nice part of our county. I always enjoy going to Shingle Hollow.
Oh, it's beautiful up here in this area now with the leaves turning and just the yards are decorated. It's just fall all over Shingle Hollow.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of Halloween excitement up your way?
I think so. I think all the churches had trunk or treat, and a few homes had their lights on. I didn't hear of any incidents. It's 42 degrees outside here this morning, and there's a little light starting to come in over there over my neighbor's house. I tried to take a picture Friday morning for you. The sun was beautiful, but I could not get my camera. I had to shut my phone down. It's like, I'm not going to take a picture today.
Well, I appreciate you thinking of me.
Well, today I have no birthdays except for Sue Price, and I hope Sue has a wonderful day, has a good birthday. All the activities are, no, I had one for this Friday. just about forgot it. This Friday, November 5th, White House Community Clubhouse is having a craft night. Starts at 6. They'll have snacks also, and everyone's invited. She said not just for the White House Community Club, but for anybody who would like to come out. And that's all I've got this morning. Fire departments. I don't have it together this morning. The fire department, Shingle Hollow, Wisconsin, had a great trick-or-treat there. Green Hills also had trick-or-treaters there, and they had a car hit a power line. But there were no injuries, but they did respond to that. We're glad there were no injuries. Power was out for a little while, and the road was blocked off. But the firemen took care of that, and police, and we're thankful for them.
Well, with the fire departments and the churches having these trunk-or-treats on Halloween night, I think that's the best, safest way for the kiddos to enjoy it. It keeps them off the street, walking them down dark streets of houses. I think they were beginning to accept the fact that they can get all they want at the fire departments and the churches.
And it's safer also for when you're going through the candy.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
That the church and the fire, they're not going to slip any kind of razor blades in the candy or anything like that.
Exactly right.
Oh, we're thankful they do that.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I've got right now, Jim.
Okay. Well, enjoy your Monday and start this month off positive, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Everybody stay safe, and God bless.
That's this is Shingle Hollow Report this morning with Tina White. It's 7:36, and we'll get up to Union Mills, get that report in just a few moments. You know, if you have any questions about your tax returns, need somebody that you can depend on and trust, or if you have any problems with the IRS, trust my friends over at IE Accounting and Tax Service. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled ARYEE.
Hey folks, you know, Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply is an amazing store. I can say that because they have what you need. From pet supplies to fire and ant killer to horse quality Timothy alfalfa hay, $14 per bale. Attention carp fishermen, they have C&J flavoring, only $8 per bottle. And they have oats for sale. Refill your propane tanks at the lowest price. Fully stocked with all your deer supplies and a great selection of farm implements. Need mulch? $12 per scoop. We could call it a superstore. Farmer's Friend Feed Seed Supply, 188 Whiteside Road in Rutherford.
Now to Union Mills we go to Union Mills we go. Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you? I was expecting you to say over the river and through the woods, because that's about what it is.
Just about right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. But we hope everybody's having a good day. I hope you are.
I'm having a great day so far.
That's good.
I expect to have a good day the rest of the day.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. And I've got 40 degrees on the front porch. I don't have but one birthday today, and that's Sue Price. So, Sue, I hope you have a great old big day on your special day. And then ways of announcements. The railroad's crossings will be closed up here starting today through the 3rd. They got to do some repair work to them, and this will be on Boy Scout Road and Centennial Road. So if you're headed this way, you'll have to come up 64 and come all the way out Centennial. And then on November the 5th, Winging It will be at the Union Mills Learning Center. The music starts at 7 p.m., and the meal is available beginning at 6 p.m., and the cost of the meal is $5. And other than that, I don't know of anything else going on.
How many trains go by there on a day? Do you have any idea?
No, I know lots of times I wake up in the night I hear them, and I don't hear them that much in the daytime, but there's not as many as used to be, but they still come through, and every now and then I have went to church and have to wait for one to go by.
Yeah.
So, but I have no idea how many go through anymore.
Not as many as used to.
Do what?
Not as many as used to.
No, that's right. But it's still used, so that's
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get caught on that one sometimes there at Sandy Muzz, Doggett Road. I get caught on that one once in a while, but not very often. But.
Yeah. That's the bad part. Is that the one that was so bad? Used to be so bad they didn't have no light on it, or?
No, I think it's.
No, that
always
you turn off a Doggett Road to go over to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah. Well, but we just want everybody to have a good day, and it's a whole new month and a whole new week and everything. So get ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Well, it'll be here before you know it.
I know it. It just I think about it every year when it's New Year's, and I think, yeah, we'll blink an eye and it's going to be Christmas.
Wow, you already got your shopping done, though, haven't you?
All but just about, and I don't know. I've probably got 3 or 4 more gifts to buy.
Yeah.
That's about it. So.
Well, you're fortunate to be able to have it done and get out of the way, and everybody else can rustle in the last minute and fight over merchandise.
And there ain't going to be that much to fight over, are they?
A lot of empty shelves, that's right.
That's right. But I guess you better run down to Ellenboro or jog or something and check on Luther Sweet thing and see if everything's all right down there.
Well, if the train don't have us blocked, we'll get in over there, and you have a great day.
Okay, have a good one. Catch you later.
It's 7:41, Ellenboro, our next stop. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. And that reminds me to remind you that our high school football Friday night game of the week is going to be Pine Lake Prep at Chase this week as they get into the playoffs now for the postseason game, and we'll have that action for you Friday night. And the Braves lost last night, so they're moving down to Astro Country, and they'll play game number 6 tomorrow night. Let's head over toward Ellenboro now and talk with Luther Gilligan. He has his eye on things for us over there. Good morning, Luther.
Good morning, you two. Nice day there. You're missing out a lot by not being here.
I wish I was there, man.
Yeah, it'd be good. Coffee's good. Biscuits are good.
You have any candy left over?
Sure.
You have any candy left over?
No.
No candy.
Ate it all.
Oh, yeah. I figured.
Don't have any left over in my house. I'd get it and eat it. It is quiet morning. There's not a whole lot happening yet. Things not beginning to stir down here. Everybody's fixing to head on out to work. But it's quiet. Well, Fartby, she had 4 medical calls for the weekend. Went down and assisted Sandy Mush, Swiftside yesterday morning, a structure fire. And then this morning about 1 o'clock, they had an automobile fire. They're quiet right now. So they're sitting back enjoying a cup of coffee this morning. So, and then else happening down here, Jim. You have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Luther. Enjoy your day.
All right, take care now.
Bye. And that's the Ellenboro Reports. We swept the county this morning with the news from various departments around the county. Now it's time for birthdays on this first day of November. If you are celebrating, we'd love to hear from you at 287-3356 is the phone number to call. If you're having a wedding anniversary today, we'd love to hear from you on that as well. As we celebrate birthdays and anniversaries coming up next, right here on 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB in Rutherford. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Granny B's closed on Mondays. But that reminds me to remind you that tomorrow morning for breakfast, consider a breakfast from Granny B's. Biscuits like ham, bacon, sausage, liver mush. They have sausage, gravy biscuits, hash browns, breakfast plates, or anything, any way you want it, coffee. It's a great place to have breakfast inside, or you can take it with you. Either way, they're closed on Mondays, open Tuesday through Saturdays at 6:30 in the morning. Plenty of time to have breakfast. And don't forget those delicious Daylight Donuts to top it all there at Granny B's. And if you want your clothes looking good, freshened up and spiced up a little bit, take them by Folks Cleaners and drop them off over there. Take them in there today. You can get them back Wednesday. The good personal service, good family-run business, and you'll enjoy doing business with home folks. That's Folks Cleaners. They're in the Rockwood Plaza. They have a drive up to the side there at the door. You can just drop them in. You don't even have to get out of your car. So you can go in your pajamas and just drop your clothes off if you want. Nobody will ever know it. Folks Cleaners. Have it done right.
Happy birthday.
Wish happy birthday wishes going out to Michael Trotter. He's 47 down in the Chase community. And our very own Sue Price having a birthday today. Other birthdays across the nation include Barry Sadler. He was a Battle of the Green Beret singer, born in 1940, died in 1989. Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, he was born in 1960. Some events on this date: back in 1800, John Adams becomes the first president to live in the White House. 1870, U.S. Weather Bureau began its operation. 1915, Paris Island officially designated as U.S. Marine Recruiting Depot. 1931, DuPont introduces synthetic rubber. 1945, on this date, first issue of Ebony magazine was published. 1951, the first H-bomb was tested. 1967, Cool Hand Luke is released. In 1982, Honda becomes the first Asian automobile company to produce cars in the U.S. So now you're up to date on this date in history, courtesy of WCAB. Coming up, top of the hour, a little after 8 o'clock, we'll have the job market report. We'll find out where some jobs are. Give you a chance to learn more about where those are and what they pay. So be sure to stay tuned with us. We got Keys to Confident Living in just a moment.
In 1902, a young man bought a small general merchandise store in Kemah, Wyoming. Because of thrift and good business practices, he was soon able to purchase other stores. This young man was a devout Christian and decided at the outset of his career to build his business on the Golden Rule. His philosophy of operation became well known, and for many years his stores were known as the Golden Rule stores. He firmly believed that if you treated customers like you would want to be treated, they would come back again and again. His philosophy worked. J.C. Penney was eventually able to build a multi-million-dollar empire with service at the center of his success. The bottom line too often becomes the deciding factor in how we treat people. If we are not careful, loving things and using people can become our mode of operation. Some seem to fear that putting people first will result in a loss for the company or store. However, usually just the opposite is true. Jesus taught that we should make personal and corporate decisions with a human factor in view. We should treat others like we would want them to treat us. The future of a human being is far more significant than that of a piece of machinery. Today, some of you will be faced with making tough decisions about the future of individuals in your organization. The bottom line of a financial statement is important to business, but so are the people that make up that business. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Thank you for making WCAB your
News. I'm Dave Packer. President Biden has arrived in Scotland, set to deliver remarks at the COP26 climate summit getting underway in Glasgow, where he'll announce a pledge to get the U.S. to net zero greenhouse emissions by 2050. ABC's David Muir is there.
The stakes could not be higher here. This crucial UN climate summit already underway. President Biden among the world leaders gathering here shortly, nearly 200 countries, and all, of course, here with one purpose: to slow down what we're already seeing with global warming. And President Biden, of course, faces the task of signaling to the world now that the U.S. will be at the forefront of this fight after the U.S. pulled out of the Paris climate deal several years back.
And there's a major push to get wealthy nations to help poorer nations and deliver on an unfulfilled pledge to commit at least $100 billion a year to help those countries deal with climate disasters and move away from fossil fuels. Flight delays and cancellations left thousands of travelers stranded over the weekend. American Airlines canceled more than 1,800 flights Friday to Sunday. Atmospheric Research Group transportation industry analyst Henry Hartfeld says severe weather combined with end-of-month staff shortages at American, but new flight attendants come back on the job today.
The airline had been bringing back employees laid off during the pandemic, getting them retrained. So 1,800 more go onto the line, start flying.
Jury selection begins today in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. He's charged with killing 2 people during last year's racial injustice protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. A terrifying attack on a train in Tokyo, Japan Sunday.
17 people were injured, several of them seriously, including a man in his 70s who was stabbed in the chest. Authorities then arresting the suspect, a 24-year-old man dressed up as Batman's Joker. He reportedly poured lighter fluid onto the train seats before setting them on fire.
ABC's Megan Tavrizian back here at home. The Supreme Court takes up challenges to the Texas abortion law today. You're listening to ABC News.
Oil drilling investments involve a high degree of risk and are only suitable for SEC-accredited investors. Attention high net worth investors. Oil and gas investments have always been an ideal tax advantage and have been a way to invest and take a 100% write-off. The new administration is threatening to take this away. Take advantage now before it's too late. Invest in domestic oil drilling for a full tax credit this year. When you invest in oil, you get a 100% tax write-off. The pent-up demand from the pandemic has created the perfect storm for oil prices to soar. Support domestic U.S. oil and natural gas drilling and make your patriotic investment to get a complete 100% tax deduction write-off. If you are liquid for a $100,000 investment, call Encore Energy at 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691. 800-287-6691. That's 800-287-6691.
2 of the biggest school districts in South Florida are easing up on their mask mandates.
A change in policy on face coverings for some students here in Florida. Starting Monday, students in Orange County can stop wearing masks with a parent's note opting them out. In Broward County, high school students will get to choose, although the school district highly encourages they still wear them. For elementary and middle school students in the district, face coverings are still mandatory. Lionel Moise, ABC News, Miami.
Southwest Airlines now says it will investigate after one of its pilots greeted passengers on a flight out of Houston with the phrase, "Let's go Brandon." That's become a stand-in for a vulgar insult against President Biden. Southwest says it does not condone employees sharing political opinions while on the job. And a rockin' night at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
How cool is this show?
Rock royalty in the form of Sir Paul McCartney Saturday inducting Foo Fighters into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame on a night that saw Taylor Swift open the ceremony with her take on a Carole King classic.
The version that she did tonight was amazing.
King also being inducted too, along with Tina Turner, Jay-Z, the Go-Go's, and LL Cool J for musical excellence.
I definitely love representing hip-hop here to the fullest.
At the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Matt Wolf, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Enjoy this afternoon while we have temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s and a lot of sunshine. Once we head into the middle of the week, a temperature whiplash is on the way. Overnight, we'll fall into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, we'll be in the 60s and mid-70s. We're going to see highs in the 50s by the time we head into Wednesday, and unsettled conditions will roll in late Wednesday into Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
43 degrees currently here at WCAB. We're going to have pretty good weather all the way up until maybe Wednesday night and Thursday. It's going to scattered showers, a slight chance of that happening. And then by the weekend, it's shaping up again to be another beautiful weekend, but cooler at nighttime. Here's some of the temperatures we can expect at nighttime. On Friday night, it's going to be around 35, and then Saturday night, 34 for the overnight low and mostly clear skies. So it's going to be bringing another load of firewood, Mama. It's going to be a chilly. But we've been there, done that before, and we'll have to stay warm with some blankets or maybe put on another log on the fire, turn the old thermostat back on heat. We're going to have the job market report coming up here in just a moment.
Shop like Santa this holiday season and stuff your stocking with savings from Bark Mobile. If your gift list calls for a new phone under the tree, how about a free LG Stylo 6 when you switch? Already got a phone that jingles your bells? Bring your own device and save $100. From unlimited data for just $35 per month per line with 2 lines on autopay to a $50 Fanatics e-code with the Unlimited Plus plan, nobody does holiday savings like Bark. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit mybarkmobile.com/terms and conditions.
Well, it's Monday morning, and we always like to check on where jobs are in our area. That's how to help folks raise awareness of opportunities to go back to work. And Anita's on the phone with you right now to give us that information. Good morning, Anita. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good this morning.
Good. Well, welcome to November.
I know it. Today is November the 1st. I got to flip my calendar over.
I know it. Rolls around so fast, doesn't it?
That's right. We have a machine operator out in Bostic. They didn't require any education or experience. We have a CNC router operator in Far City. That pay is $16 to $19 an hour. They do want you to have a high school diploma and 6 months experience. We have a tree trimmer in Rutherford that they're not requiring any education, but they would like you to have at least 3 months experience. We have a thermoformer operator in Far City. That is $16 to $19 an hour. They'd like you to have a high school diploma and 6 months experience. A wire welder in Far City. That is $16 to $19. They want you to have a high school diploma and 6 months experience. We have an administrative officer, 1 in Spindale. That is a yearly salary of $39,904 a year. That does require a bachelor's degree and a years of experience. And then we have a grounds person in Rutherford. They would like you to have a year experience, but they don't require any education. We have another machine operator out in Far City that requires a high school diploma, and assistant press operator up in Rutherford that requires a high school diploma. We have a customer service representative out in Spindale. That salary is anywhere from $22,300 to $55,000 a year. They require you to have a high school diploma and 3 years experience. We have a tester out in Far City. It's $32,400 to $77,000 a year. That requires a high school diploma. We have an assembler that is $21,000 to $46,000 a year. That requires a high school diploma. And on the 9th of November, from 3 to 6, we're having a hiring event. That hiring event will actually be at Meritor. And, you know, Meritor, they have good pay out there. They're on Ash Drive in Far City. That's 3 to 6. And tomorrow we have a virtual workshop that is at 10 a.m. Now, use for any of those jobs, for the virtual link, for the job fair, any more information about the job fair, just give us a call here at 223 Charlotte Road in Rutherford, and our phone number is 828-286-3042.
Anita, are you beginning to see a little more movement in terms of people going after some of these jobs? Is it opening up a little bit around the area?
It depends on what week it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just to be honest about it, because I think some people are still scared, you know. And then of course, we had a lot of people that were able to retire. Because I was listening to a a workshop, and they talked about some of that. There was people that were eligible to retire, went ahead and retired, and because of this COVID mess, and you can't blame them.
Sure.
They don't get out much and stuff, and you never know what to do. You don't know. You get your shot, and then people that's had their shots got it. People that's not had their shots got it. So you don't know what to do. I know. I know that people's different stuff, about it. But anyway, and so then we've had, of course, different age groups that come in. The funny thing is, I've had even some older workers. When I say older workers, I mean people that's 70. My daddy's age. It's 70 years old. That's come in here looking for some part-time work.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. I think with the workforce, I've said this oftentimes. I think some of these companies, if they would reach out to some of these retired folks that just like to work a while, they could really have some dependable workers because they're going to show up. They're going to be there.
Oh yeah, my dad he went to work last week actually.
Yeah, good for him. I'm proud to hear that. Because some of these young folks, as much as we need them to get in the job force, some of them just whatever they just show up when they want to, and these older folks, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
All right, Anita, I appreciate it very much. Thank you for being available for us on Monday mornings, and you have a great week.
And talk to you next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
And we have some news from here and there coming up next.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith's Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith's Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recalled devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591.
Well, the local news from here and there, first of all, let me highlight what's happening in the world of high school football. 2 local high school football teams will be participating in the postseason playoffs. Regular season, of course, ended last Friday night. Now we're going into playoffs beginning Friday night. In the 2A playoffs, the Chase Trojans, with a record of 9-1, are seeded number 13 in the West. They will be hosting the number 20 Mooresville Pine Lake Prep Pride in Allen Stadium. Pine Lake Prep is 6-3 on the season. This will be the Pride's first season competing in the 2A playoffs after many years in the 1A Western Division. It will be the first time ever football game between Chase and Pine Lake Prep. In the 1A West playoffs, the Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy Griffons they've earned the number 5 seed with an overall record of 6-3. Thomas Jefferson will be hosting the number 28 seeded Avery Vikings. 1-9 overall at Harmon Field in Griffon Stadium in Avondale. It has been 7 years since the Griffons and Vikings have met on the football field. In other 2A playoff games involving area teams, Shelby is seeded number 1 and will host number 2 Swannanoa Owen. Burns is number 12 and will play host to number 21 Michael. Seeded number 17, Polk County will travel to number 16 Southwest Randolph. And we'll have our game of the week is going to be the Pine Lake Prep at Chase game this coming Friday night. In other news, the Daily Courier is reporting a story that these things happen to every campaign, but only days before the official election day, which is tomorrow. Campaign signs for one Spindale candidate have been stolen and another has been vandalized, according to the Courier. Commissioner Lou Gillum discovered that 5 of her signs have been stolen. Gillum said, I have records of exactly where I had put my campaign signs. 5 have been stolen, and another one was damaged. They were stolen from Spindale Street, Oak Street, and Oakland Road. Fellow candidate Commissioner Rosaline Francis had noticed one of Gillum's signs had gone missing, and she notified Gillum Thursday morning. Francis said, we don't know what's going on. Some people do things because they think they can get away with it. It bothers me. You just never know. Gillum remains upset over this. She said, I went to all the locations where we had put out our signs. I don't know why this has happened, but I was shocked to see mine gone. Gillum notified the police as well as the election officials. Sheldon said the police will be keeping a closer eye on the campaign. Police Chief Eric Sheldon said, I hear about it happening more often over the last few election cycles, but not necessarily in Spindale. For now, we don't have any suspects at all, but they will continue investigating, looking at that. Dawn Lovelace, Rutherford County Elections Director, said there have been problems in the past regarding campaign signs, people placing them where they should not be placed or deliberately obstructing other people's signs, and outright theft. We also direct people to contact their local law enforcement authorities. We election officers are not authorized to police the signs. We do not have authority over that, she said. However, Lovelace said her office would like to be informed when these incidents take place. Meanwhile, Gillum is hoping that anyone who may have seen her signs being stolen or has any knowledge about the crime will come forward and contact the Spindale police. Gillum said, I have heard of things like this happening in the past, but mostly with countywide races. I never thought this would be happening in Spindale. It breaks my heart. Well, it does happen in every campaign. It's a sad thing that it does, but it does happen. And people just feel like they just have to go out and tear down a political sign for whatever reason, we don't know. But it should stop anyway. So if you know anything about it, please contact the Spindale Police Department. Meanwhile, the Rutherford County Walking Trail, located near the Rutherford County Senior Center in Spindale, was one of the first paved walking trails in the county that is open to the public. Recently, the trail underwent some much-needed rehabilitation and will have a grand reopening tomorrow at noon. The celebration will be at the Senior Center and will include food available for purchase. Immediately following the official reopening, the Senior Center Outdoor Health Fair will take place in the parking lot. The trail upgrades were funded primarily through an RHI Legacy Foundation grant of $37,500 and assistance from Rutherford County government and private donations. Besides new paving, 2 bridges along the trail were rebuilt and new mulch, flowers, and signs were installed. The trail is 5 feet wide and makes a half-mile loop with an extension that runs behind the Department of Social Services complex and on to Withrow Road. The health fair will run from 1:30 to 3. Approximately 25 vendors will be on site and flu shots will be available. For more information, you can contact the health fair 287-6409 about more information in that respect. We'll have the sheriff's report coming up with Deputy Greenway here again in just a few moments. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is requesting the public's assistance in identifying a larceny suspect. On Sunday, October the 24th, between 9:30 and 12:15, the suspect allegedly stole fuel from an Appling well boring work truck on Baxter Cemetery Road. Anyone with information as to the identity of this suspect is asked to call Deputy Greenway at 286-2911. Our Crime Stoppers at 286-TIPS. That's 286-8477. Rutherford County Airport hosted special guests the weekend of October 22nd through the 24th. A total of 122 Boy Scouts were there, learning about flight and ultimately taking airplane rides. The Scouts included the Rutherfordton Troop and also Scouts from the region, including the Gastonia area and a couple of groups from South Carolina. The troops pitched their tents and slept at the airport Friday and Saturday night. They prepared their own food. On Saturday morning, the Scouts were in class learning about topics ranging from communication, navigation, aerodynamics, and weather. Shortly after noon, the Scouts took a short ride in an airplane flying over Rutherfordton and Spindale and back to the airport. For about half of the Scouts, it was their first time flying. For the majority, it was the first time in a small aircraft. Russell Hyde, who organized the event, said they were thrilled. Hyde, who operates Planeworks, an airplane maintenance and ferry business located at the airport, is passionate about flying and about Boy Scouts. He recruited his friends who are also pilots to fly to the airport and provide the rides. The Scouts were mostly 12 to 14 years old. Many were a bit anxious about their first flight, but it's a great experience for them, and glad that they had that opportunity. It's not 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. We have beautiful weather shaping up here in the foothills today, and we'll have that sheriff's report coming up again here in just a moment. I want to introduce you to a new friend we've met recently, opening downtown Forest City.
Hey y'all, my name is Alex, and I'm the owner of a sweet little shop called The Crooked Nook, located at 104 West Main Street in downtown Forest City. Our hours are Wednesday through Saturday from 11:30 to 7, and we offer several things such as strange antiques, fabulous oddities, and stunning metaphysical items. Look for us on Facebook and Instagram at The Crooked Nook WNC, or y'all pop in soon, say hi, and check out the many specialty items we have and the hundreds more that we can get. I look forward to seeing y'all soon at The Crooked Nook.
This is Dwayne Hunt with Insurance Service Associates. We know that due to COVID, many people don't want to come in the office. If you need to discuss your insurance needs or just make a payment, you can come through the drive-thru, telephone us, or drop in. We want to see you, but it doesn't have to be across from a desk. Insurance Service Associates, now located at 245 East Main Street in Forest City.
Rutherford County is among a group of counties eligible for farmers to apply for loan assistance after recent flooding. On October the 19th, 2021, Agricultural Secretary Thomas J. Vilsack declared a natural disaster in the state of North Carolina based on losses caused by excessive rain, flooding, and Tropical Storm Fred that occurred August 15th, 2021 to August 17th, 2021. As a result of this natural disaster, 12 North Carolina counties were declared eligible for federal disaster assistance, including Farm Service Agency and EM loans for eligible family farmers. Those primary counties, disaster counties, are Buncombe, Clay, Henderson, McDowell, Madison, Transylvania, Cherokee, Haywood, Jackson, Macon, Mitchell, and Yancey. In addition to those 12 primary disaster counties, 6 additional North Carolina counties are named as contiguous counties where eligible family farmers may qualify for Farm Service Agency. Gary E. Gwynn said the effective October 19th, 2021 farmers in Henderson, Polk, Transylvania, and Rutherford counties may apply for EM loans for physical and or production losses. June 20th, 2022 is the deadline for filing an application. The local office is located at 61 Triple Springs Road, Hendersonville, and has office hours of 8 to 4:30. And Gary E. Gwynn said that any farmer who suffered a physical and or production loss should contact his or her office for additional information. Deputy Greenway comes up in just a moment with the Sheriff's Report.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Now, welcome again, Deputy Greenway from the Rutherford County Sheriff's Department.
Over the weekend, we ran 318 calls. There were 11 arrests made, and the jail currently has 184 inmates. I'm going to read off a couple of our incident reports. Charles Miller reported an incident of assault and battery. Linda McCord reported an incident of fraud. And then Pat Chamberlain reported an incident of larceny from a motor vehicle. Reading off our arrest reports, James Edgerton was arrested for communicating threats. Christopher South was arrested for assault and battery. Robert Lee Queen was arrested for possession of methamphetamine. Latoya Archer was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Christopher Mitchell was arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Justin Lovelace arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Brandon King arrested for failure to appear on misdemeanor. Keenan Ramsey was arrested for failure to pay a fine. Destiny Dezo was arrested for injury to personal property. And Howard Guy was arrested for failure to appear on 2 misdemeanors and a felony. And that completes what we have for you this morning.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. The Houston Astros erased an early 4-0 deficit and beat the Braves 9-5 in Atlanta to force Game 6 in the World Series. The series now headed back to H-Town. NFL action on Sunday. The Panthers snapped a 4-game skid with a win over the Atlanta Falcons. Zane Gonzalez kicked 4 field goals, and Chuba Hubbard scored on a 6-yard run with 6.5 minutes left to seal Carolina's 19-13 victory. Head coach Matt Rule after the game.
Obviously happy with the win. It was a hard-fought game. Certainly wasn't perfect. I thought it was, was kind of the game plan going in, kind of what we wanted to do last week, and really kind of never got it going. Well, I think sometimes weeks like last week happen for you to go back and really self-reflect and say, hey, we say we're going to do these things, are we going to do them? So, we had some bloody runs. We found a bunch of different ways to try to do it. You can only do that when you're converting third downs. As I said on Wednesday, I thought, we were excellent on third down. And then Sam gave us a lot of plays with his legs, which we knew was going to be important. So, we've talked a lot about it. Today we finally did it.
And Sam Darnold was knocked out of the game in the fourth quarter with a concussion. He will be day-to-day. P.J. Williams picked off Tom Brady and returned the ball 40 yards for a touchdown with 1:24 left to secure the New Orleans Saints 36-27 victory over the Buccaneers. Brady turned the ball over 3 times. The Saints, meanwhile, lost Jameis Winston to a knee injury in the second quarter. Back up, Cooper Rush threw for 325 yards and a pair of second-half scores as the Cowboys defeated the Vikings 2016 in Minnesota. The Broncos ended a 4-game skid, beating Washington 17-10. Josh Allen threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for a third as the Bills rolled to the 26-11 victory over the Dolphins. The Bengals coughed up an 11-point lead in a 34-31 loss to the Jets. The Titans escaped the Colts in overtime, 34-31. The Rams clobbered Houston. The Steelers pulled out a 15-10 win at Cleveland. The Patriots edged the Chargers. The Seahawks routed the Jags. The Niners knocked off the Bears, and the Eagles dumped Detroit in the laugher, 44-6 final. This is NCN Sports.
We really are worried that this Delta variant is going to find everyone who's not protected.
The fact that this is more infectious, causing worse outcomes, and spreading like wildfire in the United States, I don't believe this is a wait-and-see period. It's a time to really roll those sleeves up and get those shots.
There are more people dying this week than there was last week. Our rates of hospitalizations are going up. The people that are losing their lives are the people that are unvaccinated.
Visit myspot.nc.gov today. A message from NCDHHS.
On the way home from work, school practice, or the big game, make sure you and everyone in your vehicle wears a seatbelt. Be a good sport and buckle up every time you're on the road. Wearing a seatbelt saves lives. Every passenger, every seat, every time. Remember to click it or ticket. This message brought to you by the North Carolina Governor's Highway Safety Programs, the Click It or Ticket Initiative, in partnership with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
The Carolina Hurricanes continuing their historic start to the NHL season. They beat Arizona 2-1 last night to extend their best start in franchise history to 8-0. The Hornets earned a 125-113 win over the Trailblazers as LaMelo Ball provided 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. And Kelly Oubre Jr. contributed 13 of his 26 points on the night, while Charlotte outscored Portland 36-25 in the final frame. The defending NBA champions have suffered their 3rd straight loss. Utah bounced back from our first loss of the season to beat the Bucks 107-95. The Nets 117-91 winners over the Pistons. Carmelo Anthony scored 23 points off the bench, and Russell Westbrook added 20 in the Lakers' 95-85 win over the Rockets. The Mavs over the Kings 105-99. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Enjoy this afternoon while we have temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s and a lot of sunshine. Once we head into the middle of the week, a temperature whiplash is on the way. Overnight, we'll fall into the mid-40s. Tomorrow, we'll be in the 60s and mid-70s. We're going to see highs in the 50s by the time we head into Wednesday, and unsettled conditions will roll in late Wednesday into Thursday. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, our thermometer reading is 43, and tonight's overnight low is 43, so we're right where we are, but our temperature should be climbing up to about 69 for today and then dropping back to right where we are for the overnight low tonight. It's 8:30. This is 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB Rutherford, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. It's time now for the Word of Faith Fellowship radio program, and with the program this morning is Mark Morris and Douglas McDonald.
Hi, everyone, and thank you again for listening. This is Mark and Douglas, and we're here to share with you the good news about Jesus Christ. Today, we have such a great program for you. I believe you'll be so encouraged stay with us. Let us share with you the great news of how Jesus can help you through every situation in your life. Today we're going to share with you about how God is our provider. He can provide for us. He can provide every need. You may be running into all kinds of situations. You have all kinds of needs in your life. You may have financial needs. You may have health needs, health problems going on. You may have problems with your relationships. You may have problems at your work. You may have problems internally with your life and struggles you have with different areas. So we have great news for you today. There is hope. Jesus has, for thousands and thousands of years, shown up at the right time to help people who call upon him and help people to make it through every situation. And he's here for you as well. So today we're going to go through scriptures and share with you accounts where God is faithful and he has helped people in every circumstance. So we're going to start off. Douglas, you go ahead and get us started here.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Good morning, everybody. As I began to think about some of these scriptures, it occurred to me the state of the world. The world is in a bad shape. The world is in desperate need of a Savior, and they don't know it for the most part. And the first verse that came to me, speaking to us, when Jesus was getting ready to go back to heaven after his resurrection, he's told the disciples, this is all power in heaven and on earth has been given to me.
That's right.
That's a very strong statement.
Is,
I mean,
yes,
we don't think about that, but that is a very, all power has been given to him.
Right.
And then he commissions his disciples. He said, go into all the world. And as the Spirit of God leads us, as the Spirit of God speaks to us, as the voice of God comes, we obey that voice that we hear, and we go and give God's message and his word to a world that needs hope. If ever the world has needed hope, it needs hope now. And the last two verses in Matthew, chapter 28 there, Jesus said this in the King James. He said it this way. He said, I am with you even unto the end of the world. Jesus' promise to us is that he will always be with us. I must say, a lot of times we don't feel that way. And a lot of times we even doubt that. But the fact of the matter is, Jesus said, I'm with you always. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. I will never take my hand off of you as you step forward to walk and to follow me and obey me. And then I thought about John chapter 6, and as I began to read this, he had been over in John 5 there and dealing with the people, the religious people, as usual. And in chapter 6, verse 1, it said, after this, Jesus went to the further side of the Sea of Galilee, that is the Sea of Tiberias, and a great crowd following him because they had seen the signs, the miracles that he had done. And then if you read this chapter, you'll realize that this is the same account that he feeds the 5,000, and it's the same account that Peter walked on the water.
Yes.
And so he goes down here, and Jesus, if you read chapter 6 here, he said that the people had already been with him for 3 days, and they were hungry, they were out of food, and then he turned and he said, in verse 7, he said, Philip, well, let me back up here, but verse 5, Jesus looked up then, and seeing that the vast multitude was coming toward him, he said to Philip, where are we to buy bread so that we all, to feed all these people, and so that they may eat? But he said this to prove Philip, for he well knew what he was about to do. And Philip answered him, 200 pennyworth worth of bread is not enough, that everyone may receive a little. And another of his disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter, his brother, said to him, there's a little boy here who has 5 barley loaves and a couple of small fish. Now, mind you, there's 5,000 people here, not counting the women and children. There's another account back, I think, in chapter 4, about 4,000 people, not counting the women and children. And they had, I think, 7 barley loaves and a couple fish. Now, what is that amongst all those people? And in this right here is one of the most powerful verses. We're in the middle of a seminar at our church right now, and Mom brought up the fact that we should be thankful for all the things that God's done, even in the midst of all of our circumstances, personal lives, the state of our country, the state of the world. We should be grateful and thankful. And Jesus knew what he was going to do, and he told the disciples, he said, in verse 10, make all the people recline and sit down. Now the ground was the pasture, was covered with thick grass at this spot, so the men threw themselves down, about 5,000 in number. And Jesus took the loaves, and when he had given thanks, he distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to the reclining people. So also he did with the fish, as much as they wanted.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When they had all had enough, he said to his disciples, gather up now the fragments, the broken pieces that are left over, so that nothing would be lost and wasted. And so they did that very thing. And then as the story goes on, after he fed the 5,000, Jesus went up in the mountain, and when it got evening, the disciples went down and got in a boat and started across the sea there. And that's where the account, when you go back, you find out where Peter walked on the water. In verse 20 here, it says, verse 19, however, when they rowed 2 or 3 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and approaching the boat, and they were afraid. They were terrified. But Jesus said to them, it is I, be not afraid. And that's always what Jesus says and does when he comes into our lives in the middle of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid.
That's right.
It's okay.
Right.
I'm here with you.
Right.
And he said, stop being frightened. He said, I am. And then he goes on here, and the people, the next day they were looking for Jesus again, and they couldn't find him, so they got in little boats and they started across the sea. Well, it said this, verse 23, it says, but now some of the other boats from Tiberias had come in near the place where they had ate the bread after that the Lord had given thanks. Now, that to me is one of the most powerful messages in the Bible about giving thanks. Jesus gave thanks and took those fish and gave it to the disciples and fed 5,000 people plus women and children. And the people recognized that place as the place where the Lord had given thanks. They went back to that place where the Lord had given thanks. And where in our lives can we really say, that people recognize that spot? This is where Mark was when he gave thanks, and God performed a tremendous miracle.
That's good. How many times in our lives do we have landmarks in our lives where we can actually go back and say, that's the place where I gave thanks. God showed up in the midst of my problems and turmoil, and he showed up, and we gave thanks. These are landmarks. That's good.
And Jesus said in Hebrews, he said that he comes right at the exact needed time to help us.
Yes.
We think we're alone.
Right.
We think we've been abandoned. Yeah. But he's watching the whole thing, waiting for that moment, that appointed time to come and to set us free and to encourage us with life and blessing.
Well, and that's exactly what he's saying when he fed the 5,000 here. What you just said is that he knew what he was going to do. he knew it. He was asking his disciples about the food. What do we have here? And they're coming up with this short amount of food. He already knew what he was going to do. He knew the amount of people. He knew what was before him. He knew that the God was going to show up. He was testing their hearts like he does with us sometimes.
Yes.
And I was thinking, Douglas, about when we go through troubles in our life, maybe we don't think we have the money to pay for our mortgage, or we have a bill coming up, or something happens. Maybe you get a medical bill, or things in our lives that we wrestle with. You have maybe problems in your family. God is watching, and he knows, and he has a plan. He knows what he's going to do. He knows what he's going to do for you today with whatever it is that is weighing you down, whatever it is that is before you. God knows. He's watching you, and he has something planned for you. And as Douglas read as it goes on, he said, do not fear, I am. And God's saying that to us. Whatever you're going through right now, whatever's before you, whatever troubles are before you, God knows it. He sees it. You don't have to worry. He's got a plan if you turn to him.
That's exactly right. That is very encouraging. I mean, that is so encouraging to know that God has a plan, and he's going to bring it to pass in our lives.
That's right.
Now, he goes on here. Now, the little boats went there, and they finally found Jesus. And so the people, in verse 24, it says, so the people finding that neither Jesus nor his disciples were there, themselves got into little boats, small boats, and came to Capernaum looking for Jesus. And when they found him, on the other side of the lake, they said to him, Rabbi, when did you get here? Where did you come from? And of course, Jesus doesn't exactly answer their question there. He does sometimes. You'll ask him a question, but he gives you the real answer. And verse 26, Jesus answered them. He said, I assure you, most solemnly I tell you, you have been searching for me, not because you saw the miracles and the signs, but because you were fed with the loaves and were filled and satisfied. Now listen to this. Stop toiling and doing and producing for the food which perishes and decomposes in the using. But strive and work and produce rather for the lasting food which endures continually unto eternal life. And what he was saying, we strive for, they were striving for natural food and right. What they could get. What they could get. Not right. Serving people, but looking for what they could get, you see. And Jesus says, stop, when you're toiling like that, yep. You've cut off God. You're doing it in your own strength and power, and it breaks down. It wears out. It lets you down. It doesn't end up good. And he says, stop toiling and doing and producing for the food that perishes. These things that we go out and search after, they don't last. They don't satisfy. They fall to the wayside. But the real lasting food, which endures continually unto eternal life, the Son of Man will give that to you. For God, listen. For God the Father has authorized and certified him and put his seal of endorsement upon him. Now, we're living in a time now with elections and people giving endorsements for this candidate and that candidate. But right. Imagine God's endorsement.
That's right.
God's endorsement. He said, I've sent my son. Yeah. He will bring the message from me to you, and he will set you free. And that's what we need. As Mark said, with these situations, myself, I've mentioned several times on the programs about my condition, being in Vietnam with Agent Orange and having Parkinson's as a result. And I'll be honest with you, I felt like quitting. You know, I mean, people say you look fine on the outside, but on the inside, there's a war going on with that condition, and it robs you of your getting up and just being joyful and going and doing. Right. And I spend a lot of my time just trying to work through that and trying to walk straight so that I don't trip and fall down. And it's been a real challenge to me. And I can't say that I've just done everything right and trusted the way I ought to. Many times I've wanted to give up. But when it comes right down to it, the Bible says a righteous man falls down 7 times, but he gets back up.
That's right.
And that's where God has provided for all of us a place of repentance where we can repent of our shortcomings and where we miss it, and get back up and go again.
Yes.
And we're not going to quit.
That's right.
You may need to slide your chair up a little closer to your, if you're watching on the computer, or get a little closer to your radio there. But we want you to understand, don't give up and quit.
That's right.
We don't want to quit. We want to go on, because God, as Mark has already pointed out, has a purpose for our lives, and he wants to make that purpose come to fruition, come to pass, and so we can stand before him, and he say to us, well done, thou good and faithful servant. So what I wanted to get across to us here today is God will take care of us.
Yes.
All that was said to tell you, they had been with Jesus for 3 days. They were out of food. They were tired. You know what I mean? And Jesus took care of them. He said, he knew what he was going to do, because he heard the voice of God, and God spoke to him to do what he did. And they were all fed, satisfied. Life came to them, strength came to them, and happiness and joy and faith came to him. And he goes on now and says, because this is what we need to see here also, he said this, God has put his seal of endorsement upon Jesus in verse 28, and then they said, what are we to do that we may work habitually and be working the works of God? That's what we do a lot of times. What can I do?
Right.
What can I got to do something.
Yes.
Good master, what can I do to receive eternal life? We want to do something to earn, and in doing that, there's always that way back behind us somewhere, that thing where I did it. And we don't attribute what happened to God.
Right.
And Jesus replied to them, this is the work, that is the service that God asks of us, that we believe in the one whom he has sent, that we cleave to, trust, rely on, and have faith in his messenger.
It's good.
Jesus is God's messenger sent to us, but Mark is God's messenger sent to me. We are God's messengers. When the voice of God comes to go and speak to the people, we are his messenger, and God says, believe the messenger when it comes. And one thing I want to point out here, the word work there, let me just read on a second, verse 29. Jesus replied, this is the work, the service, that we believe in the one whom he has sent, and have faith in the messenger. Therefore, they said to him, what sign? Now here we go again. What sign or miracle or wonder work will you perform then, so that we may see it? He just fed 5,000 people with 2 fish and a few loaves of bread. He had been healing the people of every disease. Everyone that touched Jesus was healed. Before that, some days earlier, he had fed 4,000. And they're saying, show us a sign. That's amazing.
It is.
Did they not see? But they were in their religion.
Right.
They were in their natural thinking, which our natural thinking always gets us in trouble.
Right.
Always. And he said here, what miracle, what wonder work will you perform then, so that we may see it and believe and rely on, adhere to, and trust in you? Listen to this one. What supernatural work have you to show us what you can do?
This is the same group that just were fed all of that food miraculously.
Miraculously. That's a terrible statement.
Well, what we have to do, Douglas, is we got to ask ourselves, where have we done this in our lives?
Yeah.
I mean, basically, they just literally left Jesus because they left a miracle. They're following him. They were fed miraculously. They've heard this teaching that drew them to him, and now they're questioning, give us a sign. How many times in our lives, Douglas, has God done miracles in our life?
That's right.
Supernaturally, he's brought us through all kinds of situations. Time and time again, when we thought there was no hope, God shows up, he pulls us through things, and all of a sudden we have a new test, a new something in our life, and we say the same thing here. God, you show us a sign that you're really God, that you really, we've done the same thing. We have had things in our hearts where God has done miracles. And some people, it's a miracle from the beginning. Some people shouldn't even been born, and God saves their life through birth. Some people have had things when they were growing up. They could have died.
Yes.
There's so many things that God has done in our lives. If you ask yourself, God, you show me what you've done, God will bring it back. He'll show you every part of his miraculous hand on your life. And so when we question him again, we're doing the same thing here.
That's right. That's exactly right. And that's what, Marcus, that's the whole point of this radio program today, is to show us we've done exactly the same thing. I mean, we can read the Bible, you're reading the Old Testament, you're saying, how could they do what they're doing?
Mm-hmm.
But we do the same thing.
Right.
We do the same thing. Don't take that job. And we take that job and it just all but destroys our life.
Right.
Because we would not believe the messenger that God sent. And he might send anybody. It could be a little child. It could be a brother, a sister, an aunt, an uncle, a boss, a policeman. I can give you a good example. When I was playing in the band and we were in Philadelphia, and we got in trouble, and I was going to the courthouse, walking down the busy street in Philadelphia, right in the middle of the sidewalk. I was walking down the street, and a police officer walked across the street through the traffic, walked under the same pathway that I was on. He walked right up to me and he said, "Why don't you quit trying to be something you're not?"
That's amazing.
And he walked away. And he walked away. But I never forgot that.
Right.
I never forgot that. I wasn't supposed to be doing that.
No, you were trying to be something you were not. He
That's
was right.
That's right.
God had sent him.
Yeah, he did. And so that's what these people were doing. They were asking questions. I mean, God had already shown himself over and over again.
Yes.
Again, how many times has God shown us through people, through circumstances, what he wants us to be and what he wants us to do? And we have not obeyed what he wants us to do.
Right.
And what has it done in our lives? It's done nothing but cause sadness, disappointment, sickness, just all kinds of negative things have happened to me. Mark said, my mother and dad, my mother was not able to have children. The doctors told her, I'm sorry, but you just can't, you will not have children. But I have two brothers. There were three of us.
Right.
God had a different plan.
He did.
It didn't matter what the doctor said. God had a different plan. And we were born.
That's right.
And God has a plan for our life. But then the trials began. A teacher, when I was in fourth grade, I had a hard time reading. The teacher told me, she says, "You're so stupid, you will never read and you will never learn." And that went inside of me.
Yeah.
And that went inside of me. And it's been situation after situation after situation like that in my life, in your lives, in Mark's life, in all of our lives, where the devil has come to attack the gifts of God in us to keep us from being what God wants us to be.
Yes.
Again, these situations that we're talking about here today, that's just one of the situations.
Right.
Another one is in Acts chapter 5. Peter was arrested and put in jail. And then again in Acts chapter 12, Peter was arrested again and put in jail. And we say when things like this happen, well, Lord, I thought you loved me. Why is all this happening to me? I thought I was supposed to be a minister and preach for you, and I was going to be blessed and prosperous and successful. And here I am in jail. I don't see Peter saying that.
No.
He was in jail, and the one account there in Acts, Herod had killed James, the brother of John, I believe, and the Jews liked it.
Right.
The religious Jews liked that.
He saw that it pleased them.
It pleased them, and
so that's when he arrested Peter.
And so
Peter's sitting in jail. He knew that James was just slaughtered.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there in jail.
And he's sitting there in jail, and he had four squadrons of soldiers watching it. Four in each squad. That's the 16 soldiers. Mm-hmm. They had him shackled with the hands, shackled with the feet.
Right.
And Peter had taken his coat off.
Yeah.
Must have been warm in there, and loosened his shirt and laid down and went to sleep, knowing the next day Herod was going to come and get him and put him before the people and do the same thing all over again. Mm-hmm. He was so sound asleep that the angel had to, he said he shook him.
He didn't show
to wake
signs
him
of
up.
Worry, anxiety.
No worry, no anxiety, no fear.
Right.
And he got up and he said when he got up, he said that the chains fell off of him. Mm-hmm. He said the angel led him to the first ward, the second ward, the main gate to the prison opened up on its own.
Right.
And he's walking with the angel, and all of a sudden the angel disappears, and Peter comes to himself. He thought he'd been dreaming or having a vision, and realized this really happened.
That's right.
So he went to the house, and there was a large crowd of people in the house praying, and he knocked on the door, and finally, you can read the story for yourself. Finally, he went in and he calmed the people down. He told them what happened, and then he went off to another direction, and he told them to tell James, who was the other James,
right,
Jesus' brother, that he was what had happened. Yeah. And again, but God had a plan for Peter.
Yes.
Paul said that it's through many hardships and tribulations that we must enter into the kingdom of God. It's not always going to go easy. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to, but God's going to come.
Yes.
And God's going to help us. And God's going to set us free.
Right.
The same thing happened to Paul and Silas.
Right.
They were for casting the devil out of that girl. I think that was the account.
Right.
And they ended up in jail because of that. And I want you to know this too. When they killed Jesus and when they abused the apostles, it was always because, when you read on, that they were jealous of what they were doing. Mm-hmm. They weren't doing the call of God in their own lives, and so they attacked the people that were. And they beat Paul and Silas with rods. Mm-hmm. I mean, beat them so that their backs were bloody.
Right.
And but at midnight, they were singing praises to God. Think about that. They were singing praise, and it said the prisoners were listening to them. And then there was an earthquake, and it shook the prison, and everybody's chains fell off. The doors all came open, and the guard woke up, and about to kill himself. And Paul said, "Don't do that. We're all here."
Right.
And the man ended up giving his heart to Jesus.
That's right. And we're out of time, Douglas, but we hope that you have been encouraged. God has delivered and healed and restored throughout the ages everyone who calls upon the name of Jesus. We encourage you today, whatever you're going through, God is watching and he can help you through it. So this is Mark and Douglas with Word of Faith Fellowship. We're on this radio program Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8:30 to 9. Go to our website. It's www.wordoffaithfellowship.org. Have a great day.
The music's on us on WCAB.
Greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. ABC's Karen Travers is traveling with the president.
Environmental activists say the COP26 summit here in Scotland marks a pivotal moment for world leaders to take bold action and make aggressive commitments to fight climate change. But with President Biden's climate proposals stalled on